Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where we are currently working on fulfilling our oath here. And we also have a faction, apparently it is Nomads. I'm not sure we care about that. We'll think about it, but we need to think about what our expansion plans are here at this moment. So we have 4 years, which is a decent amount of time. And we need to expand by an additional, what is that? 18? I mean, that's really not bad. 18 counties is really doable. So basically, one decent-sized acquisition would do that, right? If we were to go for, like, Alan over here, I'm sure it's probably pronounced Alon. I just thought it would be funnier to pronounce it Alan. We're going to take a look at what we could do here. These are not great kingdoms. This one's okay. I think we had some de jure down this way, didn't we? Wow, they're actually surprisingly big. Okay, what do we got here? Nah, that's mediocre on the de jure. Okay, are they an Empire tier title? They kind of look like one, don't they? Yeah, they're an Empire tier title. So that's a lot tougher for us to make our way into. There's these guys out over here. This would be an easy win for us. How many counties would that even be, though? These are pretty big counties out over here. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, that's about half of what we'd need. We don't have to do it all in one go, right? That's absolutely fine. We could just start cleaning things up out over this way. We just need to pick a target and go for it, to be honest. And, I mean, cleaning things up is definitely not a bad idea. We could start pushing in through here and take some of these, like, a few at a time. We could do, like, 3 here and then do, like, 4 here or something. We'd have rebellions in the meantime. I'm sure it wouldn't be a big problem. The main issue here is that this is impassable terrain, right? So we would really need to go after these guys first. And I think we have de jure here. So, yeah, that's absolutely fine. I think this is our target. And do we want to clean up any of these little guys as long as we're in this area? Well, probably, to be quite honest. So that would mean we could do a de jure claim here. 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 And that would be all of the little guys in this area. We could also go up, like, over here. There's a bunch of them out this way. So for now, I think we'll keep it to 5. I don't want to get the AI too frisky, get them too hot and bothered. So we're going to drop ourselves a rally point here, and we're just going to raise up our men-at-arms. Now, it's very likely that they raise theirs here, and they raise faster. We'll see. Okay, they're not currently. Oh, we're now known as the Holy. Okay, that's neat. We also are having a million events pop right now. Okay, so we're going to be walking in over here. Surprisingly, we have a plague happening. That's not surprising. That has been happening every 4 seconds this entire game. So we're going to be heading right on in here. I don't know that this has ever gone away at this point. It's kind of wild. Oh, look, another one. Okay, so that's all fine. We'll just continue to work on that for now. And, okay, we don't need military assistance. Go away. Okay, so this guy wants to give us some prestige. We'll definitely take that. That is wonderful. Okay, divine guidance would not be the worst. We'd also gain 100 piety. Sure, we'll take it. Okay, so we're going to grab this capital. That puts us at 57% war score right off the bat. I mean, that's a good start, to be sure. So now we're going to hop up over here, win this fight. And that puts us at... Oh, boy. Okay, I'm not going to say what that put us at because I don't need to. And that will free me from my contractual obligations. Fantastic. We're now at 80%. Excellent. That is the correct percent for us to be at, or at least a preferred. So at this point, the Nomads are firing, and we're not surprised about that. We knew that that was likely going to be happening very soon indeed. And he is right out over here. Okay. I'm going to raise some levy troops up here, and I want to bring in a holy order. It's going to be these guys. So we'll just crush them like this, and that'll be absolutely fine. They have 1,700, so we're going to be looking for around 15,000 out over here, and that's understood. So we're walking in over this direction. We'll be there shortly. Wartime physician, huh? Okay, sure. I'm surprised that that didn't actually end this war. Okay, we're going to walk up over this direction, and we need to be thinking about our movement plan here. I think we take this, then this, and then we loop around. It's just going to be slightly awkward. I was expecting that to end the war. It's sad that it didn't. So back out over this direction, we are gaining a decent amount of forces up over here. We want about 17,000 to stack wipe. With any luck, that'll get there soon. Any moment now. Unfortunately, they finished their siege just before we got there. That's very sad. We're going to have to pursue them and leave some forces here. So this war is over at this moment, and we'll enforce those demands. That sounds good. We're going to hop over here, and we're going to come on out over this way. I'm going to leave this for the time being until the war over this direction is over. So that looks fine for now, and we need to have these guys come in over here. Now I'm going to leave behind a few units here. So something along the lines of this will be plenty. I'd like to leave a siege leader here, and that'll be fine. And then it looks like they're coming to siege over this way, most likely. So that seems fine. So we're just coming over to here for right now. This should end this war. Do we want to empower the blacksmiths? It's fine. I don't care. Okay, so that all seems okay. We do have an available perk, and we can take Golden Aplomb. Not that that's going to really do anything for us at this time. And we can see that these guys are actually heading off this way in a slightly awkward route. Okay, they're actually going up here. So this war's over, as we would expect, and we're going to enforce those demands. There we go. We have all of this, and that will be an issue for us. We want to feudalize that and grant that all out eventually. But for right now, it's absolutely fine. Now we can just walk up over here, because we are at war with these guys, and that should be this force, I believe, but I don't... Oh. I didn't realize they were all the way up here. And we're going to get all of that. Okay, beautiful. I thought they were a one province. In that case, I'm changing my mind, and we're going to go after their force down over here. Okay, so we're pursuing up over this way. We should have enough to stack wipe this pretty easily. 10-to-1 ratio is a pretty clean stack wipe number. So that shouldn't be a problem. We don't require your military assistance. Get out of here. Okay, so no problem whatsoever there. That's absolutely free. These guys are idle, and we don't want them to be. We appear to have missed this unit here, so we're going to make our way up and see if we can intercept them. That would be the dream. Unfortunately, it looks like we currently can't. So we're instead going to walk in over here and siege. Okay, these guys are idle over here. This was not a stack wipe. Okay, we're going to have to pursue down over this direction, and that's understood. Okay, so out over here, this is going to be mildly awkward, because these guys can outrun us pretty easily. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to move on for now. We need to wrap up some of these others, so I think the plan is going to be that we're going to hit here, here, and then come up and occupy this way. These guys are going to slow siege. It's fine. I'm not too concerned about it. So where are these guys going, actually? Oh, they're just chilling there. Okay, I'm fine with that. Wonderful. So we're going to take this back. That'll get us kicking war score. And, okay, so this person died. Who is this? Was this our wife? I believe this was our wife who died in childbirth. Okay, was that our good wife? 19 stewardship. Ah, that's why it went down. She's infirm. Okay, we might want to find a secondary spouse here with ideally very, very good stewardship, but she's lowborn. So the next one is this one. Okay, it doesn't really matter. We've got plenty of children. We are taking a penalty, I think, for opinion with people of our religion for not having enough spouses. So there is that. I'm going to marry this lady primarily as a replacement because our wife here, she's probably going to die pretty soon. So that's absolutely fine. We're still going. We're 30, so it'll be fine. We married her for her stats, not for her age. And that's absolutely fine right now. So this is likely going to end this war. This one is over. That's not this war, but we do need these guys to move on up to here. Perfect. Okay, so we're still fighting out over this direction. This war is over. We'll enforce those demands. And then we've got these 2 remaining wars out over here, right? And, I mean, they're a long ways away. I'm just going to leave these guys where they are. It's absolutely fine. They're going to finish up their siege down over here. And, who is this? Our best friend, huh? 23 stress because we're shy. That'll bring us up, which would actually boost our income, which is not a bad thing. And then we could become reclusive, which is fine. We can become reclusive. Okay, so no, I don't want military assistance. Get out of here. Increased maintenance is not a bad thing either, so we'll just go ahead and allow that. It's not like we're short on funds. So that's absolutely fine. We're at 10 of 8 domain now. And that's because our wife here got infirm. Now, we can't actually fix that, because our new wife here is only 19 stewardship. However, I'm still going to elevate her to be our primary spouse. And I'm going to ask her to convert. And she agreed to convert. Okay, cool. So this war is over. We're going to enforce those demands. Why did that not instantly end? That's weird. Okay, well, we're going to walk on over this direction next. So we need to pass up through this pass. Oh, it white-pieced. That was a mistake. Okay, I thought I selected enforce demands, but that's apparently on me. I knew something was wrong when he didn't immediately accept the demands. It's fine. It's a 1 province. We'll get back to it later. That's okay. I did not intend to white-piece that, though. That was definitely a small mistake. Not a huge one. So we're going to make our way up over here, and at this point, we're going to siege our way down this way, and that should honestly end the war. I think ticking is against us, and there's nothing we can really do about that because this has got the flashing border, so it's fine. It's fine. At this point, there's no real issue here. We just need to wrap up these wars, right? What is this faction? Nomads. Okay. I'm, again, not concerned about that. So they're arriving up over here in the eventual times. But it is slow to move through these mountains in the winter. No doubt about that. Okay. So let's move our way through here. I'm actually going to go hit their capital next. That could theoretically end the war. I'm betting their leader is probably in this army. Yeah. So it's unlikely to end the war, but if we captured the air and got a good amount from this province, maybe. It's a hard maybe. So let's see what happens here. 94. We did capture his heir, but it wasn't quite enough. Okay, we just need to go grab this, and that should end the war even with ticking. These guys have just been repeatedly walking in the same position here. Like, they're stuck. Oh, they finally moved. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. The war is over. So we're going to enforce those demands and disband our troops. Okay. How did I even manage to click on White Peace for this? That's exciting. Well, like I said, it's a 1 province. It's not a big deal. We have de jure. We can get that at our leisure. So no problem there. And we are now done with expanding the realm. So we have upheld our oath. Beautiful. So that's fine. And at this moment, of course, we've got some work to do up over on this side. So we need to start feudalizing these settlements. And then we need to grant these out. Now, this is going to give us significant vassal limit issues, and we'll deal with that after. So for now, let's just feudalize as many of these as we can afford to do, and then we'll grant them to nobles of the correct culture, which at this point is Tamil culture. Wonderful. So all of these, that one was an expensive one. I still don't know why some of these cost 50 and some cost 100. Or 500, rather. It seems like it's a very significant difference, right? Maybe we can try to figure that out with, like, mousing over the cost? Base plus 50. Yeah, let's watch for that. So let's go ahead and grant this over here. And what do we have up here? So this is going to be 500. Base of 500. What's the difference there? Okay, let's look up over at this one. This one's 500. This one's 200. That's an unusual price. What about out over here? I'm still wondering how that's calculated. This apparently just the base price. So let's compare these two. So we see that there's 27 to 2 control. County fertility is similar, 25.5 to 31.3. And there's this nomadic holding here. Yes, I know that this is disabled. I have no idea what the difference is here. The culture and faith are exactly the same, as is a popular opinion. The development is higher in this cheaper province. This is up in mountains, so maybe that has something to do with it. This is in desert, and this is in desert, though. And these two have different prices as well. This is 500, and this is 200. So that's unlikely to be what's happening there. I'm just trying to see what other differences there are out over this way. Now, this is a different culture out over here. This is Tamil culture. Everlasting summer is the steppe season, but that's the same for all of these. The de jure hierarchy is the exact same. The de jure capital is up here. So I don't know what the difference here would be. This was recently looted. Sure. Huh. Well, we'll move on for now. But I'm very interested in knowing why some of these are 10 times more expensive than others. Well, we're seeing that this one is not actually going to get that malice that this one got, right? So this one got nomadic land, and this one didn't. That probably has something to do with it. That's very interesting. So this one then, presumably, if we feudalize it, it will get nomadic land as well. And others won't. This one's kind of a middle ground, though, at 200. And that one doesn't get nomadic land. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm not entirely sure what to make about that. So you can see that this one's not going to get any extra amount, and we're going to pay 50 gold for it. Cool. Absolutely wonderful. We're happy about that. So then we've got this out over here that we can feudalize, and we can grant that. I have no idea how that's being calculated. I wish that this tooltip was a little bit more elucidating, but just saying base plus 500 is not helpful when the base changes for no apparent reason. I'm sure there is a reason. I just don't know what it is. So for now, we'll just continue to work on this, and that's fine. So we'll feudalize this holding. That's another 500 gold one. Okay. And then this up over here is another 500 gold one. And yeah, all of these 500 gold ones, they're all getting that nomadic land for the next 30 years. That's fine. We don't actually care about that. What we actually care about here is that we aren't going to have more nomadic uprisings coming from these areas. That's the dream at this moment. So that one's a 50 gold one, and we'll hand that out. Okay, I think that's everything in this area, but now our vassal limit is 20 over, which is not terribly surprising. So we'll get rid of all of that, and we then need to deal with this. Oh, we're at 11 of 8? Hang on. Did we forget to grant out a title after we feudalized it? We should not be at 11 of 8. I don't see a title. I'll check in here. What do we got here? These are all correct, I believe. I'm not seeing anything that we shouldn't have. Pretty sure we should have this one. Yeah, that's all correct. What do we have that we shouldn't? There's definitely something that we have that we should not have. I'm just going to go through all of these, and we'll be up over... Is it this? It's this, I think. Aha! Okay. So this one we must have feudalized, but not granted. Okay, cool. So that's now handled, and I want to come back out over here because this area needs some work. So, first thing to do is we can start making duchies out over here. So this duchy title is created. We can usurp that, And that is de jure going to belong to this guy. So we'll do recent titles only, and there's this Raj. Why do we have this Raj? That's interesting. Okay. We must have inherited this. Cool. So that seems fine. So at this moment, we need to come back out over here and continue to work on these vassal areas. So this down over here needs to be usurped, which we will do. And that is going to go to this fine gentleman right here. 3 vassals go with. So that puts us 13 direct vassals above our limit. We've still got work that we need to do out over here. So I'm going to create this title right over here. There's some feudal and nomadic vassals mixed together here. Sure. We'll go ahead and grant that for now. And then I believe that should be here, but I'm not going to do anything with that right now. So then up over this direction, we've got some feudal vassals that could definitely be done. Let's usurp this title. And then that goes to here. Cool. And then up over this direction, we can usurp this title, which would go here theoretically. I think that's outside. Oh, no, that is in our realm. Okay, I'll go ahead and grant that over. Fantastic. And we'll demand his conversion just in case. It's off chance, right? But just in case. And then there's this up over here, which we cannot usurp from because we don't have enough. So that's understood. Next, I want to check out this area over here. We can create this title, and that would go to this guy. 2 vassals go with. Perfect. So that brings us to 7 direct vassals above. These out over here are awkward. There's not a lot we can do with that just yet. So then I want to look at the kingdom title out over here. Okay. I'm going to create that title. And we've got this title right now out over this direction. I want this to be kind of our nomadic title. So I'm going to have this be the feudal title out in this area for right now. So 4 vassals go with, and that seems absolutely fine. That puts us at 3 direct vassals above our limit. Okay, we can deal with that. So now what we would theoretically need to do is, I mean, we've got all of these noble, or rather, not noble, all of these nomadic vassals over here. What I'd really like to do is revoke their titles. That's an act of tyranny, even though this kid is imprisoned. I was hoping that the imprisonment meant that we'd be able to do it. Maybe we could do it here? Yes. So we'll revoke his title. And that now allows us to feudalize this holding and grant this out. So as these rebel, we can revoke the titles and we can feudalize these areas. And that will be the goal here, because that will stop the nomads from being, you know, nomads and doing nomad things. So that would be good. Similar situation here. We can do a title revocation here for free because he's a known criminal. Excellent. And we're going to do that. So then we can feudalize here, and we can put in a noble of the Tamil culture like that. Obviously, this is not removing any of these vassals, right? We're 5 vassals above our limit right now. And that's understood. I want to continue to go through these out over here. We maybe can do this one as well. Yes. Beautiful. So we'll do that. This is going to be feudalized, and we are going to put in a noble of the Tamil culture. And then these out over here, there's not really anything we can do there. Okay, so now what I want to check is the duchy title. Okay, I'm going to create this duchy title, and we're going to give it to this guy. Now, only this guy will go with, because feudal versus nomad, right? That's understood. We're trying to keep kind of a hard line here going forward between feudal and nomad titles, and that hopefully will end up working out. So then we want to do basically the same thing out in this area. So we want to be looking largely anywhere where we've got these triangular nomadic flags. We want to be looking for people who are imprisoned. right? One thing we could do, instead of doing it that way, is we could go into our courtiers and go into prisoners and sort by rank here. And then we can see we don't care about any of these kings. We don't care about any of these dukes. We don't care about any of these counts either. What we care about is nomadic realms, which would be like this guy. But it's a little awkward. Can we filter by whether they're nomadic or noble? That would be really convenient, actually. We can filter by whether they're landed or not. Filter by nomadic government type. That's what I want. Okay, beautiful. So now we can see our imprisoned nomads here. So what that will allow us to do is that will allow us to look at each one of these and evaluate, are they imprisoned because we have a title revocation cause? And in this case, they are. So we can retract that. Fantastic. And that, interestingly, she has another title. Okay. That's noted. For the time being, we've conceded our title revocation reason on her, so we can't actually do that. And yeah, we can't do another title revocation on her. So that's understood, and we can just continue to go through this list. But it is time to put a cut on, or rather put a cut in here, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to go through this list and revoke all of the titles from every single nomadic ruler that is currently here. Every single one of them. And we're going to go through and feudalize them, and we're going to make those into proper vassals, is going to be the plan. As additional nomads rebel, we're going to do this immediately following the rebellion, is going to be the idea. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.